If not, that's all right. All right. So I'm going to, so look, if you are new here and you haven't bought Audience Lab, you don't know about Audience Lab or anything like that, I'm going to throw out, Jaden, can you throw out, oh no, I have it, the schedule link. If you can throw that out, Jaden, and book a call. Would love to speak with you. If you are from Perry Belcher's crew, I'm going to be, you can still book a call, but I'll be sending you guys out a link a little bit later too, because I want to make sure you guys looked after. And I was talking to him a lot about different use cases and how you guys can leverage the data, because there's a lot you can do. So first things first, if you guys have noticed, we have, if you're an existing Audience Lab client, I don't know what we did, but we somehow started trending on school. And we just had so many people join our private group that we had to set another one up because I was just missing messages and I had people that I've never heard of that were hitting me up. So we've set up a private group for anyone that's an existing Audience Lab client. The link's there. Jaden, we've emailed it out. I'll throw it out here at the end, but then if you aren't in Audience Lab join that group, please don't. It's going to cause an admin nightmare. But if you are in there and you need to chat or anything like that, you just hit me up there. I've put in some really cool modules. Everything that I'm talking about here is actually in there. We've gone through, created a whole new Facebook ads training of how to use the data. I've taken our top strategies in terms of how we use intent data for Facebook ads in a national and in local campaigns. Because a lot of people, they'll do local campaigns, they'll build a segment and it will just sit there. Like it won't do anything. And there's reasons for that. So we'll get into there. I'll post the free version of school. Let me chuck it in here. Cool. All right. So what I want to talk about today, well, I actually posted about this last night. I was thinking about what to discuss today for this workshop. I really want to talk about automated systems and I want to get into that. But I also would like to get into a bit of positioning too, which, yep, if you're an incubator, you can access there. You should have been sent the link. If not, I'll push it out shortly. Let me see here. All right, if you guys can see my screen. So I posted about this in the main public school yesterday. Um, And I think this is something that I want to cover before I get into some automation stuff, right? So I think understand this, that if you're an agency owner and you have access to the data, right? The targeting, the audience, if you can bring a client their audience, you are already ahead of 99% of agencies and advertisers out there, right? Like already. So the biggest thing is when you are positioning the service and you're selling this service to clients, you don't need to have an irresistible offer. You don't need to add bells and whistles. You don't need to do the Sam Oven silence. You don't need to do any of the internet marketing world tactics when you're doing this because you already have the cure to cancer. You already have what people want, and that is their audience. So what you need to do instead is actually kind of calm them down and use what we call the buyer's formula to create a plan and then create a really good deal. What I see a lot of people do is they get so excited about the data, they homosy it up and they create these irresistible data offers, which is great, but they actually like not turn off a lot of big clients that could be a really good deal, you know, short term and long term. And then they find people that it's not really right, or they almost like talk themselves out of the deal, if that makes sense. I'll make sure I don't want to piss off any of my like Hormozy Nation dudes, but I'm just saying when we're talking about how to do, you know, data sales and things, we're going to use a bit of a different seeing him, but yeah, bit of a different approach. So, first thing here is, let's say you've got a client. The first thing the clients want, and the first thing that anyone is looking for, is they want to know their audience, right? Like that's the thing. That is advertising. The biggest thing in advertising is where's your audience, right? Like biggest thing we see is, oh, my audience isn't on Facebook, my audience isn't on LinkedIn, my audience isn't on Google Ads, like whatever, right? So Essentially, there's about 3 stages we look at in terms of how you want to position and sell the data. There is the raw data solution, giving the client the data. Okay. So 9 out of 10 times, the data is just going to sit there. The client might not even do anything with it. Sometimes, if they already have systems going, they're going to absolutely crush it. But I'm just letting you know, if you sell raw data solutions, sometimes they're not always going to do stuff with it. Okay. So what we do is I want you guys to use what's called the buyer's formula. So when you're selling data to someone, essentially you want to use the buyer's formula, which is going into what could go wrong, right? And setting the obstacles. Because what people do is they don't do this step here. They try to sell one big cohesive service, and then the obstacles they have that happen on the way, rather than working as a positive thing to actually bring people to upsell, it works negatively. And these are things that you're going to fall into no matter what you're selling, because it's just marketing 101. Yeah, I'm just seeing got a few questions here. All right, everyone's still with me on this? Let me know. Cool. All right, so what you want to do is you say, hey, look, I've got your audience. I've got every single person you're looking for. I'm going to update it every single day, and I'll give you this list. But in order for them to activate it, you got to explain that, you need to have a good offer. You need to have an email deliverability system. If you're doing cold call, you need to be able to have a good script. If you're doing Facebook ads, you need to have a good ad account structure. You let them know, like, in order to activate them, like what they'll need to do, right? It's the same kind of energy where like you just give everything away for free, but people are going to hire you done for you anyway. So then what's going to happen is the leverage plug and play systems. So they're like, okay, well, thanks for the data, blah, blah. You're like, well, what I'll do is not only will give you the data, but I'll create a system that allows you to receive it every single day, that gives you all these contact points. I'll be able to put the B2B leads in a CRM, the B2C leads I'll put in a spreadsheet, the people over this credit score I'll put here, and then you can start segmenting the data and be able to do it that way, right? And that's where you leverage plug and play systems. The next thing is upselling the IP. So upselling the service and the IP. And this is where you add your own IP and messaging, right? This is usually the flow of most sales. And this can happen on a single sales call, but this is what I want people to understand is the first thing is you don't have to go the irresistible offer route. You have their audience, show it. As soon as you whip out that audience and you show them like, here's everybody looking to target, you're immediately ahead of 99% of every other agency. Now what you need to do is figure out the best deal for these guys. And you'd be, all right, we'll put in, do we stop here or do we stop here? Some people you'll just do here and they know they're going to have to do this and the expectations set, but you can still charge for this. Some people you want to be able to do the whole thing, but you need to understand that you push clients through each flow. All right. Does that make sense? Give me a yes. Give me a no. You can say that makes no sense. You have know what you're talking about. Cool. All right. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So in saying that, let's get into some cool data automation systems. Because yeah, the biggest thing is when you get into move the design box. I don't know what that means. When you get into selling these automated systems and things like that, understand you're already solving such a big problem, right? So the data itself has value. But what you want to do is, as you outline the obstacles, you're actually going to turn what would be a negative. Because if you get someone raw data, let's say they're a roofing company and they're like, oh yeah, I want people looking for roofing solutions. And you just give them a bunch of personal emails. They'll go out, they'll email them, they'll kill deliverability, and they will have a bad time. They'll come back to you and they'll be like, hey, this didn't work, right? Whereas what you do is you say, okay, I'll give you this, but you need use emailing personal emails. So you need to have some kind of warm-up system to be able to turn these people into customers, like some kind of lead magnet to lead with value. And they're like, okay, I get it, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to go, they're going to do the wrong thing, they're going to come back to you, they're going to ask you to do it for them. And then you'll partner with them and you build a newsletter or you build a multi-channel campaign. So the biggest thing is to, when you're selling the data, outline all the potential obstacles they could have and frame that way. Then what you can do is you can easily upsell to leverage plug and play systems. And then you can upsell services, which is going to be where you add your own IP. And what's cool is when you add that layer of your own IP, you've got a moat and you've got something that people can't just replicate. Like I was just talking, not to put you on the spotlight, but Rob, who we got here, the stuff he's done with doing custom models and activation for very high level businesses has him, speaking conferences, has people, doing whatever they can to work with him, right? So that's the biggest thing is I want you guys to understand these three things. A lot of people, they just want to do this and just this. And if you do this, you can, but outline the obstacles and what could go wrong, because then when they come back to you and they're like, hey, I need this, this, and that, you could either cross-sell this to an agency, you could do it yourself, you could create a consulting plan. Like so many people just scratching the surface by prescribing the data when there's so much more you can do with it. And you don't have to frame it as an irresistible offer. All you have to do is set expectations so they come back to you and then you can do it for them. All right. So let's get into the training for today. So I want to talk about some basics of building automated data systems. What's an automated data system? It is data that comes through automatically and it's a system. That's basically it. All right. So if you guys don't know, we use a company called Boost Space. This essentially is like Make, but on steroids. Can we get a list of typical obstacles experienced with raw data? Yes. Yes, we can. Let me go through this and then I can go through that. So yeah, Boost Space, guys, it's essentially, it's like Make, Airtable, Google Sheets, it has OpenAI, it's everything combined into one. So you can do some really cool stuff with it. Now, there's a lot of people here that when I posted about this a few weeks ago, they messaged me and they said, this scares the hell out of me. I'm so scared by this, right? But the thing is, this is the same people that want to be consultants. So I want to just get into some basics that really this isn't that hard and show you how I can use it. I'm going to show you one simple automation that every single person here can go out and sell and, get a few clients on, right? So first things first is I just want to go through the modules inside of Audience Lab. All right. So let's say I build an audience. So I've got my identity res. I did one for Perry. I don't even know what that one is. So many demos in here. Let's say I build an audience. All right. So I've gone to a client. They're like, oh, I've worked with agencies. I've worked with that. They give me crap leads. Blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm different for them because I have all the data already. Right. They've given me the qualifications. They give me the intent segments they want to go for. We've refined a good audience. It's about 20,000 people per day. And now we're going to do something with it. Right. I'm charging this person $1,000 a month for them to just have this audience refresh every single day. Okay. And I'm setting it up so that it's delivered to their system for them. Okay. So, if you guys are going to do this, if I didn't want to use Make or Boost Space or whatever, you can actually just grab a webhook, right? If you see we have a webhook feature now. So if I have an audience and I'm like, I want to send this and I want to send 1,000 contacts every day, you can just do that. Or I can do it every 3 days and I want to have 10,000 contacts, you can do that, right? But if you put that directly into high level, you're going to have a bad time because high level charges a lot for webhooks. Anyways, we're inside of Boost Space. We're setting up an automated system for the client. Here's what we need to do. So if you guys go into Boost Space and you get the integrator and you sign up, you'll notice there's an Audience Lab module. Okay. Now the Audience Lab module has this one. It's 4 things. Okay. The biggest thing you need really is just this one, list all audiences, this one, get audience, and this one, get file. Okay. Rarely will you need to go into this unless you're doing like crazy amounts of volume. Okay. Like astronomical amounts. Am I recording this? Yes, I am. Good. So yes, it's a different set of leads every day. Sometimes you have the person in there twice because they still show intent, and I'll explain more of that later. So what we're going to do is, let's say for an example, we've signed up a client and we want to deliver them an audience every single day of fresh data. Okay. They're like, I don't care about delivery or anything like that. I just want the data. I'll do what I want with it. I don't want to pay extra for your services, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, cool. We set expectations. We'll send them the data. This is what we do. So the first thing is we click get file, right? So get file based on ID. Now, what you can do here is once you connect this to your Audience Lab account, you literally can just click the drop down and pull your audience. You don't have to do anything techie. It's just that, right? So let me just load this up. And let's say we're doing a roofing audience. Oh, actually, let me do, I want to do a small one so it doesn't take too long. I'll do this one here. All right, so I'll just grab this and I've got that audience. So if I run this module, it goes through and it pulls that audience, okay? So there's my audience that I built in Audience Lab. There's when it was created, when I first created it, and there's all the files of all the times that I have refreshed it. Because I can go in every single day to this audience, and when my client wants more data, I can just hit this, and then I can automatically refresh it, right? Which is new data for them. So you grab this, then what you do is, let's say for an example, my client always wants a new file every single day, right? So they always want, if I refresh it tomorrow, it's going to be 11. If I refresh it the next day, it's going to be 12. The next day, it's 13. They always want that. I'm just going to use something called an iterator. Now, when I first started using iterators, I was super scared, but it's really, really easy. There is a flow that you can use with this, but I just want to show you the basics of how to do it so you understand it before you jump into the templates. So it's called the iterator. And all this is going to do is make sure that you always get the last file. This is just a lot easier than using the watch module because the watch module can, require lots of data and things like that. So all you're going to do is type in last bracket, files, close bracket, right? Now, this will be really awkward if that's the wrong formula, and I'll check, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So let me run this once. Cool. Okay. So you can see here the file at the bottom, number 10, is 373, and that is 373. Now, watch this, right? I go into, let's say, so I've set this up for a client. I haven't set it up yet because I still a few steps. And I'm like, cool, you'll get new data every day. They're pumped. I'm pumped. Everyone's pumped. As soon as I come in and I hit refresh, oops, just the wrong audience. My bad. Where is it? Where's my boost? There we go. As soon as I come in and hit refresh, what's going to happen? It's that one there. Is it's going to automatically, when I run this, it's going to update the audience, right? Depending on whether you're using webhook or so. Do I need to manually refresh this, push them out daily? We do have a way to, we are pushing it through automatically. For now, let me check, because for the webhook, it will do it automatically straight away because it's built in the webhook. For this, sometimes you need to push it out, but I can show you guys to get automated well as well, because there's a few things you can do inside of Boostbase and Audience Lab. Let's make sure that's built. All right, I'll come back to that one. Anyways, so what will happen is anytime you refresh it, automatically, manually, doesn't matter, it's going to come in here and pull a new file, right? So then all you need to do is you just need to send it somewhere. So let's say, for an example, we wanted to send it to high level. And let's just say we wanted to, oh, actually, no, I'll just do email for now. Make it super, super easy. You guys know how to connect high level. I don't have to show you this right now. So we can do that, and then we can, where's our send an email? So we can do that. We can connect it, and then we could literally just be like your data for today, right? And then we just say, hey, name, here is your daily data delivery. And then you just hit here, and that's it. And then, 2. All right. And then obviously you want to have the client's email in here. So client@gmail.com. And that's it. That is one of the most easy ways. Obviously, I need to create a connection. I'm not gonna do it right now because I have to go through and do authentication and stuff. But that is the easiest way that you can sell data to a client is you do that, you sign them up, and they're like, oh, I want the data every single day. You set that up, and then you just go over to here, and then you schedule it, and then you can start shooting the data every single day, right? Like that is one of the easiest ways you can do it. Now, will the client see amazing success? It depends what they do. I mean, they're going to come in and they're going to try and download the file, right? So this is what they're going to get. They're going to get this raw URL here. So, they're going to come in, they're going to click the file, right? I'm a plumber. I'm looking at people looking for plumbing services. They click the file. As soon as they click the file, it's going to automatically download to their computer, right? When they open the data, they're going to be quite overwhelmed because there's a lot of data points here. But like I said, you said you want to give them you said you have their audience. They're like, cool, you got my audience. So now you give them the data. So let me open this and show you guys. What's that? 8.2 megabytes. It's only a small one. I did the boost based one. Okay, so that's the first model. See how easy that was and see how easy that was to set up? Does everyone understand how to do that? Everyone thinks they could do that? Cool. Okay. Let's go through another one. Let me see if it's built yet. Oh, okay. So you see here, I just refreshed it. So it was refreshed on the 6th of the 2nd. So now if I go through here, watch this, I'll just quickly unhook this, right? Go through here, run this once. I can set it so it schedules. There we go. Now we've got this data. See? Now we've got the 11th one. And what's that end in? 285 and 285. All right. So that is a simple model. You can go out, find a client looking for data, whatever it is they're for. Make sure you set expectations. Make sure you say, okay, these are all the obstacles with this data. Like I'm going to give you everything, right? I'm still, treating you better than every other agency because they're just kind of hoping for the best inside of Facebook. Like I've got this, you can use it. You can hire another agency. I don't really care. And that's how you do it, right? And then the data they get is a lot. It's a lot of data. It's like they get this every single day. Most companies would charge like quite a bit for something like this. You can charge what you want. Depends on your plan. They get all this data here and they're good to go. Now, they might start dialing. They might start, emailing. Unless they know what they're doing, they're probably not going to see good results. I'm just being honest. It's probably going to sit on their computer. They're still going to pay you for it. You're still delivering, but I'm just being honest. It's the same way as if you were selling a course. Most people aren't going to do stuff with it. Okay. So then it comes to the next part. They come back to you, you send them a list, and they're like, hey, I did that. I emailed a bunch of people. It got flagged because I didn't, set up a proper like email system. I called some people, people didn't answer because I'm using my mobile phone and I don't have a dialer, so I don't have local presence. I sent some text messages, nothing worked, right? They're probably going to tell you that because it's not, because they probably called 5 people and gave up. Okay. So you're like, that's all right. Why don't we set up an automated data delivery system? You see, like I'm giving you the raw file at the moment, but if I can upsell you here and don't say upsell you, I can get you and create an automated data system. So we can integrate it into your CRM. I can split the file. I can do a ton of good stuff with it. I can set up all this multi-channel stuff. All you have to do is give me your messaging and we're good to go. Okay. And they're like, that sounds phenomenal. Okay, so now what you do is we're going to get rid of this one. We're going to click this one here, and we're going to use what's called the get module. My computer's so slow right now. And we're going to click get file, okay? Now what this does is it automatically downloads the file, Okay, so we click here, we click here. Now, if I run this, goes through and is downloading the actual file. I can't remember what audience I put it on. Here we go. It was Boost Space. Okay. So you see here, and I've got the file, but if I go here, I've got the content, right? Now it's a lot of content. I can't just send the client that. They're going to freak out. They're going to be like, why did you send me that? So I'll just click on here. Now it's what's called a CSV parser. I know it's going to be intense, but all we're doing is we're just adding the file. We're putting C, and I've got this pre-saved too. So you guys can come in and you can do it. And it's an actual like walkthrough. You come in here and you go here, and we just want to map it to the content so that we're not sending our client a whole weird little file like that. Now we run this once. Then that goes through. And so my computer's super slow, guys. I've got way too many tabs open. And there we go. There's all the fields. It's okay. Sorry. Yours will show up a lot quicker. My computer's super slow. See, there's all the fields here, right? You got everything. And we've got in one operation, fun fact, we pulled in like this is why this app is so cool because you can bulk process data. You know, we've got 4,000 people in one operation. Okay. So now what you want to do is you're like, all right, well, what I'll do is I will send the data to your CRM. So I'll send the data to high level, right? And, you know, I'll set up a pipeline. I'll add the contacts in there. What I can also do is I can, you know, so like, oh, let's just go there. So they're like, I want the data sent to high level. They're like, okay, cool. So you do that, right? But they're like, but the thing is, I want to make sure that I'm only dealing with homeowners or people who have a certain credit score. I want to put in some filters, right? Because you've upsold them, you're in the integration stage now. So you're like, no worries, you come into here. And then we do, let me choose what filter I want. You click here. And now what we can do is we're like, okay, so you're telling me you want to make sure that you're only speaking with people that have a skip trace wireless number, right? And then we'll just make sure this has exists. I only want emails that are validated, right? I only want emails that I know it's a real person. I don't want any programmatic emails. So, all right, we'll go through here, here. Like so. And that's all the filters there. Okay. And now it's adding it to their high level account. But let's say, for an example, they're like, okay, I want the contact to live in the CRM, but then I want you to send the lead to my dialer, right? So you come in here, do the router. So you send it to their CRM, but you also want, they're like, so I want all the leads sent to the CRM, but the thing is, I want the business leads to go into our instantly setup. So you come in here, and I know I have to put in the APIs and stuff. I just can't be bothered right now because like it's sitting on my computer somewhere. And there you go. And they're like, but the thing is, in instantly, they only accept a certain parameter. So you come in here, you set it there. So you can set up anything. You could do this for multiple things, right? Like there's no limit to what you can do with that. Okay. So now I've gotten to the second one. Oh, Mira nearly shut down. Got the second upsell. is you've got so you've got the raw data, and then you're like, you set all the parameters, you said here's all the stuff that could go wrong, and then you go through and you create an automated data delivery system, and they're like, hey, it's awesome, it's coming in their CRM, the sales guys hit them up, but like we just need some help with, you know, closing these people. So now you've got your own IP and messaging. So now you look at how do you actually turn this into something that you can develop as your own IP. And you're like, all right, well, that's fine. I've got a full cold email script that you can use, and I've got a high level snapshot which you can use. Then I will hop on with your team every week at 9:30, and then I'll go through and audit all your sales calls, right? And I will charge you $2,000 a month for this. So now you're paying $1,000 for the data, you're paying $2,000 a month for that, you're paying $3,000 a month, which is a lot, but I'm giving you all the data. I've set up a system so it's always going to be in your system, so you're never missing out. You never have that fear of missing out. And I'm going to make sure that you actually convert something with it, right? And that's a good deal. And that's how I want you guys to push this. Now, let's say, for example, they're like, oh, I just want to, you know, keep it inside of here, just want to do that. And that's totally fine. What's cool about this is you could take, you know, this and rinse and repeat it. And I'll show you. So let me show you another fun model. Okay, so we got this one. And what's cool is we can save this as a blueprint, right? And then like all we have to do when we get a new client is just adjust this. There's a lot of audiences here. Is just adjust this. Pick a different audience, and then everything will be set up. Okay, so these automated delivery systems, you can template them and you can use them for like multiple clients. Like it's pretty awesome. Now, let's say for an example, you want to have the system set up to be able to push all the data into, like, let's say they want to do like multiple audiences or something like that. I'll show you how you can do some stuff with IDs. Okay, so what you can do is you can switch this over to map. Okay. And what we're going to do is, well, real quick, is everybody understanding this? Everyone understand the two models we went through? We just went through how to sell a client and just give them an automated data delivery. It's just the spreadsheet. It's nothing else. Then we went through, they're like, no, that's not enough. I want it in my CRM. I want it here. I want it there. It's like, that costs extra, but I'll set it up for you. Okay. It took like 5-10 minutes to do that. But now they're like, you know, maybe we're getting into doing it more an automated way. We want to start doing it with or create, like, maybe we want to create like a form where somebody fills that out and then their data shows up in their inbox, right? So we didn't have to deal with the customer. I'll show you that one as well.